Welcome to Hidden Horizons, a channel where we gently unravel the most fascinating and overlooked stories from world history. Through calm narration, we journey together into the mysteries of our planet's past. If you delight in quietly exploring these forgotten chapters with us, please consider liking and subscribing to support our adventures across time. In this story, we invite you to step with us into the heart of the Sahara land, not always as desolate as it seems today. We will search for evidence of a time when this vast desert was full of water, life, and bustling civilizations, lost beneath the sands. Let's begin our journey to uncover the Sahara's hidden secrets together. Chapter 1. Secrets Beneath the Sand. Night falls over a sea of wind-swept dunes, their endless curves soft beneath a pale moon. The silence presses close, and all seems empty at first, a world of sand stretching far beyond the horizon. Yet, beneath each grain, there are echoes of something ancient, waiting for us to listen and discover what lies hidden in the silence. With each whispering gust, the desert reveals a little more of its past. The air carries a hint of something forgotten, a sense that these shifting sands remember a different world. Here, we pause and let our senses attune to the subtle shapes half buried beneath the dunes. Every broken stone or weathered carving might offer a clue to the story beneath our feet. Long ago, before the sands claimed dominion, this was a land pulsing with life. Mighty rivers once cut green paths across the Sahara, and great lakes sparkled under a gentler sun. The cries of birds and the calls of distant animals would have echoed here now. We hear only the hush of wind. What turned this vibrant world into a desert, and who were the people that called it home? To understand the secrets beneath the sand, we must begin by picturing this place not as a wasteland, but as a vibrant heart of the ancient world. Imagine canoes gliding across wide lakes, herds of cattle grazing near riverbanks, and the laughter of children drifting through green valleys. This vision is not a dream, it is written in the very rocks and bones the Sahara conceals. As we walk deeper into the desert, every footprint becomes a link to two worlds, the arid present and the lush past. Beneath the stillness, faint traces of long-lost lakes shimmer on the ground. Where there is now silence, there were once bustling gatherings, craftspeople shaping tools, and caravans moving slowly along ancient trails. We begin to sense the presence of those who lived here long ago. There is a solemn beauty in the isolation of the Sahara. At sunrise, soft golden light reveals the outlines of old riverbeds, like scars and memories on the earth. The sharp chill fades as the desert warms, and more secrets seem ready to surface. Somewhere beneath the surface, clues to ancient civilizations wait patiently for curious minds and gentle hands to uncover their stories. Standing still, we listen for the faintest hints of that lost world, perhaps the scratch of pottery fragments beneath the sand, or a smooth stone formed by ancient river waters. Each discovery sparks new questions. Who painted the mysterious figures on nearby rocks? What did the people who lived in the Green Sahara believe in? And how did their cultures flourish in such a different landscape? The desert's silence is not empty. It holds the faint rhythms of old celebrations, the steady beat of raindrops that once fell for months, and the stories of people whose lives were tied to the land. As we begin to search for answers, we are guided by the hope that every grain of sand could reveal a fragment of the Sahara's ancient life. Tonight, as the stars emerge above the endless sands, we let wonder lead us. The secrets of the Green Sahara are hidden just out of sight, waiting to be revealed. By retracing the footsteps of ancient travelers and listening closely to the stories left in stone, we prepare ourselves for discoveries that can illuminate not just the desert, but the whole tapestry of human history. As our search begins, remember the desert's silence hides more than emptiness. It is a silent guardian, holding on to vanished rivers, forgotten villages, and ancient art. With patience and open minds, we may yet reawaken the voices that once filled this place, and understand how the sands came to bury the living heart of the Sahara long ago. Chapter 2. The Green Expanse. Imagine stepping into a world where the Sahara is not dry sand but a lush and vibrant land. Thousands of years ago, what we now call a desert was alive with flowing rivers and rolling green hills. Herds of animals wandered this landscape, and the skies reflected in lakes that shimmered beneath the sun. Let us journey back to this forgotten oasis and witness a Sahara transformed. In the heart of the Green Sahara, River valleys carved gentle paths through fields thick with tall grasses and scattered trees. The air is fresh, carrying the sounds of water and wildlife. Gazelles leap across open meadows while hippos lounge along the water's edge. This chapter invites you to picture the Sahara not as an endless, empty sea of sand, but as a cradle of abundance, mystery, and life. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence of wide lakes that once stretched over the Sahara, their vast surfaces mirroring the changing sky. Ancient shorelines and fossilized fish bones testify to the water's presence. These lakes were gathering places, supporting not just animals, but also early humans who built simple villages along their banks. Life here flowed with the rhythms of rain and sun, united by the promise of water. Wander along the remains of a lost river. Once, water carved this valley, nurturing forests and life. Now, only faint lines trace its memory in the sand. The ancient flow is preserved in the layers of soil and the patterns etched by streams long vanished. Imagine the cool rush under your feet as we follow this hidden trail back through time, guided by traces of green amid today's golden dunes. Rock art found in Saharan caves and outcrops reveals how people lived with the land. Scenes of cattle herders, hunters, and families decorate the stone with vibrant detail. Giraffes stretch elegantly, elephants march in herds, and boats glide on water that is no longer there. These painted records are windows, letting us peer into the lives of those who once flourished in this vanished wilderness. The gentle rise and fall of rolling hills stretched as far as the eye could see, blanketed by wildflowers and thriving groves. Early people gathered fruit, dug for roots, and found shade beneath acacia and fig trees. They watched the migration of animals, knowing each season by the rhythm of returning herds. In the Green Sahara, every day brought the promise of bounty and wonder. Ancient tools lie buried beneath the present sand's arrowheads, grinding stones, and pottery shards. They are silent storytellers, each one shaped by hands that cherished this vibrant land. Archaeologists have pieced together these clues, reconstructing villages where families gathered around fires, crafting tales and shaping their world with hope for the future. These echoes still linger, hidden just below the surface. As the sun set over the ancient lakes, water would shimmer in hues of pink and gold. Herds of antelope gathered at the shore, and birds wheeled through soft twilight air. Night bathed the land in silver, the stars reflected on the stillness below. In this world there was peace, a balance between earth, water and sky, remembered only in the quiet clues left behind. Sometimes fierce rain swept through the Green Sahara, flooding valleys and filling lakes anew. Life bloomed in response, frogs sang in pools, grasses grew lush, and the air burst with insects and birdsong. For the people and animals alike, these rains were more than weather, they brought renewal, changing dry ground to fertile pastures almost overnight. The rhythm of rain shaped every living thing here. The people of the Green Sahara adapted to every change, moving with the herds and seasonal water. Archaeological sites reveal their footsteps, patterns of homes clustered near water's edge, tools forgotten in haste, and burial sites honouring those lost. Their lives were woven into the rich landscape, each decision shaped by the cycles of nature and the gift of an ever-changing world. Looking at the Sahara today, it takes imagination to picture these ancient green lands. Yet, every artifact and carving uncovered by archaeologists whispers of a past filled with colour and life. Lost rivers and vanished lakes may be hidden now, but they continue to shape the stories we tell. The green expanse is a reminder that deserts, too, hold memories of abundance and hope. As our journey through the Green Sahara ends, let us remember the people and animals who once called this land home. Their footsteps, stories, and art remain etched in the stones and soils, silent yet powerful. The green expanse lives an ancient chapter not lost, but waiting to be rediscovered by those who look beneath the surface, searching for the echoes of a vanished paradise. Chapter 3. The People of the Rivers. Imagine a vast land where winding rivers once nourished the earth, surrounded by green forests and lively wetlands. Here, in the now vanished Green Sahara, communities of people made their homes along the water's edge. Calm mornings echoed with laughter and stories, as families woke to the promise of abundance, and the gentle flow of water defined their daily rhythms and the path of their lives. Before the heat baked the landscape dry, the people of the Green Sahara thrived beside broad, meandering rivers. Their days began early, footsteps pressing softly into moist earth, marking trails to the rivers. Children played along the shorelines, reeds, while their elders watched the shimmering water for the movement of fish. Harmony with the river was essential. It shaped not only their days, but their customs and their hopes. As the sun rose higher, families would gather baskets and stone tools, setting out on the day's tasks. The Green Sahara's people were skilled hunters and gatherers, watchful for every sign of movement among the reeds and grasses. They read the slightest ripple in the water, or the rustle of leaves overhead. Through these silent cues, the land and its people were woven together in an ancient partnership. Fishing was essential. Gentle hands crafted nets from woven grass, setting them carefully in quiet pools where shadows danced. With patience and a calm spirit, each person played a role, tending the traps, collecting slippery reeds, or mending baskets in the shade. The river provided, not just food, but the sense of belonging and quiet peace that came with living among water and green life. Along the riverbanks, herding began as wild cattle roamed the open plains. Gradually, people learned to guide herds, using soft voices and careful watchfulness. These early pastoralists relied on their animals for milk, for meat, and as companions in their journeys. Morning and evening, songs echoed softly as cattle returned, bells gently chiming in the distance, signalling another day's end in the lush valley. Villages dotted the green landscape, fashioned from mud, grass, and hands shaped by tradition. Each settlement held a cluster of families, intricately bound by shared stories and the responsibilities of daily life. Fires flickered through the cool evenings, while elders recounted tales of distant ancestors and mysterious spirits. Their homes pulsed gently with warmth and life, encircled by the laughter of children and the dance of shadow and flame. Amid this abundance, artistry flourished. People left behind vivid images carved or painted on rocks, animals with horns curving gracefully, dancers circling beneath open sky, rivers winding through scenes of everyday life. These ancient artists captured joys and mysteries alike, offering glimpses of the beliefs and customs that shaped their world. Each image whispered stories, echoes of language and memory that drift through time. We can only imagine the conversations that carried across those open spaces. Lost languages once flowed with the same rhythm as the rivers, stories, songs, and laughter carried on the wind. Though their words are gone, the pattern of village life, the sharing of food, the guidance of elders, the bond between familia speaks clearly in the ruins and remnants left behind across the desert sands. The Green Sahara's people observed nature's signs with quiet reverence. Changing seasons guided their movements as rivers swelled and shrank. They recognized when birds returned with the rains and charted the stars to predict large migrations. These skills were born not of haste, but careful attention, a patient respect for the living world, passed down through generations, quietly shaping every decision and tradition. In quiet moments, the people of the rivers found comfort beside the water's edge. There, reflections rippled and trees swayed gently above. Community gatherings filled the banks, preparing feasts, celebrating milestones, offering thanks to unseen spirits who watched over land and water alike. These gatherings nurtured unity, weaving friendships as steady and enduring as the river's ancient flow. As the climate began to shift, water slowly withdrew from the heart of the Sahara. Yet for centuries, these river people adapted, migrating as rivers changed their course or dried to memories. Their resilience shone in ingenious ways. New settlements rose near shrinking lakes, new traditions emerged, and the cycle of seasons continued, always guided by the hope held in every flowing stream. Today, buried beneath the drifting sands, we find echoes of those lost lives. Tools, painted stones, and ancient bones reveal glimpses of a time when rivers ruled the land. The Green Sahara's people are gone, but their traditions linger gently, and the silence is a testament to the strength and beauty of living in partnership with water, land, and the ever-unfolding story of the earth. Chapter 4. Art on Stone. In the far reaches of the ancient Sahara, the story of a different world is written not in books, but etched and painted across sun-baked rocks. Calmly, we step into a realm where human imagination transformed bare stone into open-air galleries. Here, every line and curve carved or painted whispers of lives long vanished, a wordless history enduring through ages of sand and wind. A wordless history enduring through ages of sand and wind. Petroglyphs images hammered, carved, or scratched into stone offer a silent testimony to the vibrant lives once thriving in the Green Sahara. We drift among images of river-bound hippos and sturdy cattle, small hunting parties, and mysterious geometric signs. These marks, weathered yet still vivid, let us glimpse how ancient people saw their world. Each figure, a quiet echo from a forgotten landscape, inviting us to pause and wonder. Painted caves speak in colours still bright after thousands of years. Ochre, charcoal and clay fused to rock appear as ochre-red antelope, shadowy giraffes, herders and dancers frozen in scenes of movement. The gentle, rhythmic brushstrokes reveal hands both careful and daring. As we gaze at these cave walls, the ancient artists seem near, their imaginations flowing gently into ours with the fading strokes and swirling forms. What stories do these artworks tell? Between clustered cattle and elegant arches, we find moments preserved at celebrations, hunts, and rituals, all unfolding across flat stones and cave ceilings. The repetitive patterns and playful animal shapes hint at deep spiritual beliefs and a close-knit relationship with the land. As we linger, the meaning behind each figure sharpens, the power of ancient creativity palpable beneath layers of pigment and time. Strange shapes and symbols sometimes cluster alongside clear animal forms. These intricate design circles, spirals, and mysterious grids remind us that much of ancient meaning lies just beyond our grasp. Gazing at these symbols, we are drawn into a gentle mystery. Did these marks map waterholes, embody spirits, or simply mark passing time? The Sahara keeps its secrets, challenging us to reflect and imagine along with those first artists. Throughout the Sahara, rock surfaces scattered with handprints evoke ancient present children and adults pressing palms against stone. These prints, sometimes clustered in patterns, feel deeply human and immediate, as if reaching out across millennia. With calm reflection, we trace the outline of their hands, sharing a wordless connection with lost individuals whose creativity still endures, their touch a fleeting bridge from past. Many scenes show people at work and play herding, dancing, gathering. Carefully drawn figures in social groups suggest daily routines and communal bonds. We observe processions winding across stone, arms thrown wide in what may be joyous movement. These lively depictions remind us that art was more than decoration. It was a celebration and remembrance, anchoring communities to memory beneath an ever-changing sky. The animals captured in these artworks tell their own stories. Giraffes move with elegant grace, elephants appear massive and steady, herds of cattle and horses graze beside images of fish and birds, their presence marking an environment very different from today's desert. The abundance and diversity hint at flowing rivers, wetland hunts, and a Sahara teeming with life. Each animal is a connection to lost landscapes and ancient abundance. Some images blend human and animal forms in ways both graceful and enigmatic, antelope heads atop human bodies, or figures merging with birds. These hybrid creatures may suggest myth, magic, or beliefs in powerful spirits. By lingering on these scenes, we feel the ancient wonder and complexity of a people striving to make sense of their world. Here, art becomes a bridge between what is seen and what is deeply imagined. The painted caves and open-air galleries endure through silence and sun. Wind has worn away pigments, and sand has smoothed sharp carvings, but the art persists. We stand quietly before these marks, feeling the pull of time. The persistence of these images is a testament to human desire for beauty and self-expression, echoing dreams that have survived through thousands of years, silent until someone pauses to listen. Across the vast stone canvases, even mistakes and faded outlines are preserved. We see overpainted figures and abandoned sketches, reminders of uncertain hands, shifting ideas, perhaps changing traditions. Each imperfect mark adds intimacy to the art, revealing the humanity behind it. In this calm reflection, the difference between artist and viewer dissolves, and the creative process itself becomes as mysterious as the stories told in ochre and line. As twilight falls over the ancient rocks, the art seems to shimmer in the fading light. These enigmatic markings are far more than traces of vanished peoples. They are invitations to imagine, to feel awe, and to seek connections across the ages. In silent galleries under timeless skies, ancient Saharan artists left us a legacy of vision, beauty, and longing still quietly alive, awaiting our amazed and gentle attention. Chapter 5. The Changing Winds. As the ages pressed onward, a quiet transformation began to sweep across the Sahara. Where once water danced and grasslands stretched to the horizon, change announced itself with whispers. Rivers became slower, their banks narrowing, great lakes began to shrink, their edges cracking in the ceaseless sun. People watched the land they had known shift beneath their feet, sensing the distant echoes of what was to come. In these calm mornings, dust hovered in the air where mist once drifted. Pools that reflected the sky dried into shallow beds, leaving puzzled fish fossils in their wake. The people gathered near shrinking streams, remembering old songs of rain and plenty. The elders' stories grew quieter, weighted by worry and longing for the lush days gone by, a silent reckoning carried by the changing wind through every simple moment. Grass gave way to sand, inch by inch, as seasons slipped into patterns unfamiliar and unforgiving. Once, herds of cattle roamed free among green hills. Now, their trails led toward the remaining glimmers of water, carefully guarded and deeply prized. Each sunrise brought new uncertainty, fields cracked underfoot, and the promise of rain seemed more like a memory than a hope. But life endured, woven into every choice, every journey. The people, skilled in reading the sky and soil, noticed subtle messages. The shifting stars, the tougher roots of plants, the taste of wine upon the tongue. Every household altered its routine, gathering water with deliberate care, tending smaller gardens and praying for relief. The old dances invited the spirits of rain, but the earth answered mostly with silence. Still, resilience softly threaded through their hands, even as they learned to adapt each day. By dusk, the air grew heavy with the scent of dust, and the sun's low light revealed dunes where fields once flourished. Children learned new rules for survival, how to find shade, how to preserve even the smallest spring. Songs for the harvest shifted into laments poetry for old rivers that now slept beneath the sand. Through it all, the people's spirits endured, their eyes always searching the horizon for any sign of hope. Some families looked back, remembering the laughter that echoed across blue lakes and grassy shores. They whispered tales to each other, gently passing along the lessons etched in their minds by hardship. Though sorrow rippled beneath their words, there was pride, too pride in their perseverance and in the roots that bound them to the land. In every evening fire, determination flickered brightly, even as the world grew harsher around them. When the final streams faded to trickles, decisions unfolded quietly among leaders and elders. Maps were drawn in the dust, charting courses not just for herds, but for entire communities. With heavy hearts and determined steps, families prepared for journeys southward or toward distant heights. These migrations were not frantic, but measured and solemn, marked by hope that somewhere water and fertile ground still waited, hidden behind tomorrow's dawn. Along ancient paths, the departed left behind painted shelters and rock art memories etched in ochre and stone. Scenes of cattle, lush grass, and joyful gatherings lay quiet beneath dust, bearing witness to how life once flourished here. The stories in those images whispered across centuries. Each migration, each step away from the fading land, became an act of remembrance, carrying forward both sorrow and strength into unknown regions ahead. Under the open sky, songs for resilience drifted on the night air. The young learned from the old how to recognize the call of wind, the pulse of distant thunder, and the miracles of rare rain. Each lesson was a promisee, a quiet vow that, even far from familiar shores, they would shape new homes. The winds, though harsh and unyielding, also inspired courage, stirring a shared spirit of survival etched deeply into every traveller's heart. With each step across the widening desert, the people transformed. Memories of abundance shaped their dreams, while the present sculpted new skills and fresh ways of living. Adaptation was no longer just a word, but a daily practice, gathering dew at dawn, listening for far-off springs, and watching the stars to guide their routes. The harshness of the climate gave birth to quiet, steady innovation, a testament to their undaunted will. As time swept onward, the old settlements faded from memory, reclaimed by the sand that once shaped their stories. The people pressed on, carrying fragments of a greener, gentler past in their songs and traditions. The desert's silence became their companion, its endless horizons both challenge and invitation. Through hardship, sorrow, and resilience, the legacy of those who lived in the Green Sahara survived, woven deeply into the lineage of a wandering people. In this slow transformation, nothing was ever truly lost. Every migration, every adaptation, became a chapter in a greater human journey, a testament to endurance, imagination, and hope. Where rivers once flowed, and where lakes still sleep beneath the dunes, the stories of survival whisper across the wind. The Sahara speaks softly now, its lessons carried by all who once called the desert their home, and by those who listened still. Chapter 6. Echoes in the Sand. Across the boundless expanse of the Sahara, secrets of lost civilizations sleep beneath dunes and sun-baked stone. The winds whisper over ancient ruins, carrying the faint echoes of lives once lived. In this chapter, we walk quietly alongside archaeologists as they uncover delicate fragments of pottery, tools, and remnants of forgotten shelters that invite us to wonder who once called this endless desert, With each discovery it a worn shard or the foundations of a forgotten village. The desert gives up a little more of its story. Archaeologists kneel in the golden sand, gently brushing away centuries of silence. Their careful hands reveal symbols and shapes that once held meaning, crafting a silent dialogue with those long gone. It is a slow unveiling, a patient journey into what remains past the reach of memory. Not all remnants are grand or ornate. Tiny beads, chipped flint, and broken pottery often hold the richest stories. Each piece is catalogued, mapped, and compared, building a tapestry of ancient life. Layer by layer, the ground gives up hints of ritual, daily routines, and fleeting joys. The act of unearthing connects scientists to ancestor a fragile bridge spanning millennia of change and weathering. There is a gentle awe in holding an object that last touched human hands thousands of years ago. Every artifact is a whisper and echo from the quiet heart of the desert. The quiet diligence of archaeologists transforms these whispers into a voice. Through careful study and respect, what was once lost to the sand is remembered, and the story continues to grow with each finding, illuminating lives hidden by time. Among the wind-worn stones, the ruins of ancient homes emerge. Some have walls still standing, aligned with the stars or the memory of vanished rivers. Each ruin draws questions. Who sheltered here? What did they dream? The placement of stones tells of seasonal migrations, communal gatherings, and the knowledge needed to thrive when the world around shifted from green to gold. The archaeological sites are maps of memory, dotting the Sahara like stars in the night. Some point to bustling markets, sunshade shelters, or the slow shaping of clay around caring hands. Pottery styles change with the centuries, revealing links to distant cultures and ancient trade routes. These silent clues allow us to trace not just survival, but flourishing societies that left their imprint in clay and stone. Even as new discoveries emerge, the desert guards its mysteries closely. Wind and sand often erase the lines that once marked thriving civilizations. Still, with every careful excavation, the past becomes visible once more. Cutting-edge tools like ground-penetrating radar and satellite mapping now reveal buried structures, a hidden Saharan cityscape emerging beneath the shifting sands and patient stars above. Locals sometimes guide researchers to forgotten sites, recalling stories passed down through generations. Their oral traditions entwine with archaeological clues, hinting at ancient migrations, lost water sources, and the rhythms of daily life around vanished lakes. These partnerships between science and memory deepen our understanding, honouring both the wisdom of ancestors and the insights of modern investigation. What is found is pieced together slowly, like a puzzle missing most of its parts. Pottery designs echo motifs from hundreds of miles away, suggesting far-flung connections. Tools reflect unique techniques, evidence of adaptation to a changing world. Each fragment, placed in careful context, adds shape and colour to the story linking long-gone desert dwellers to the vast tapestry of human experience. In forgotten tombs and shallow graves, delicate jewellery and carved stones are sometimes found, left behind as offerings or memorials. These glimpses of personal lives are reminders that loss and hope are ancient companions. We imagine the dreams inscribed in every carefully made bead a symbol of continuity, longing, and belonging carried forward by the wind. As the sun sets over the dunes, the archaeologists' work slows. They record each discovery, preserving both object and memory. The quiet evenings become an invitation to reflect on life's fragility and on the enduring questions that link us with those who lived before. The past reaches gently toward the present, asking to be remembered, respected, and cherished once more. Through these discoveries, the Sahara's silence breaks. Echoes in the sand reveal not just the bones of civilizations, but the persistence of life and meaning in the harshest of places. As the story builds, we realize our connections run deeper than lost rivers or ruined homes. The desert, once green and full of life, continues to shape us and inspire new questions with every grain of sand uncovered. Chapter 7. Remembering the Green Sahara, let us slow our pace as we approach the close of this journey. Picture the wind gently brushing over the vast Sahara, its endless dunes whispering secrets from a time when the world beneath your feet was lush and green. Imagine standing on sand that once cradled forests, rivers, and lakes. Shadows of ancient life still linger, waiting for the right moment to reveal their stories. Step softly in your mind, and you might hear distant echoes murmuring under the surface. The desert's silence is not empty. It is filled with forgotten songs of hippos, herders, and early communities. With every movement of the sand, some memory stirs, reminding us of a Sahara once alive with voices and companionship. In this quiet, we find space to wonder what long-lost histories are still waiting, buried just out of reach beneath the shifting earth. Close your eyes and picture ancient lakes shimmering under the sun. Communities gathered at their shores, trading laughter and stories as the cool wind rustled reeds. Herds of cattle grazed nearby, perfectly at home in the green, open land, nature and humanity woven together in balance. Beneath the desert's present, an echo gently calls back to that time here, soft reminder that change is eternal, and nothing remains as it seems forever. As darkness softly settles over the desert, reflect on how much the world can change and how much remains beneath the surface. The Sahara, now silent and vast, remembers every footprint, every painted hand, every mark of early civilizations. Deep within its sands there may still lie entire stories, told by stones, pottery, and faded art, layers waiting for someone to listen quietly enough to hear their truth. In the hush of twilight, let your imagination settle over forgotten wells, shade trees, and the laughter that once echoed across green plains. What wisdom might we gather from the people who adapted, thrived, and moved with the rhythms of a changing land? Their lives remind us to pay attention to nature's signs, to respect the cycles, and to remember that resilience often means embracing change as part of life's endless story. As the ancient Green Sahara faded, so too did its people. But their memory lingers in the shapes of rocks, in the colours of painted cattle, and in the faint lines scratched upon silent walls. We are left to imagine their dreams, their rituals, and the lessons they whispered to the winds. Is it possible that we, too, are carving traces for future ages, writing messages in our own way upon the earth? The Sahara's transformation reminds us that even the most unyielding landscapes can change. What were swamps became sand. What were forests became stone. Life adapts, moves on, and reshapes. The people of the Green Sahara learned this and adapted to each new world that surfaced. Let their story be a mirror, inviting us to change with grace, to listen, and to leave behind gentle marks for others to find. What else slumbers beneath these boundless sands? Each grain could hide a fossil, a hidden village, a lost artifact, a piece of the puzzle, waiting for discovery. The Sahara may be vast and silent now, but beneath its golden surface, the past still breathes softly. There is wonder in not knowing every answer, and hope in the search that continues across the centuries. Remember, the stories imprinted beneath the desert did not vanish. They transformed and travelled, perhaps even finding their way to you. Wherever you are, you carry the resonance of these ancient lands. The tale of the Green Sahara invites us to consider all the histories beneath our own feet. Each place has its secrets, its lost worlds, and its quiet lessons, waiting patiently to be learned anew. Let the sands of the old Sahara remind us to look closer, to respect the past hidden just below the present. The civilizations that flourished there faced climate, adversity, and change, and still left imprints of art and humanity that endure. Their resilience invites reflection. What will our own footprint say to those who come after? What will survive to be wondered at, centuries onward, once the world has changed again? Centuries onward, once the world has changed again. Take this moment as a gentle invitation to connect with history, with nature, and with that sense of wonder that makes us explorers in spirit. The Green Sahara is a memory in stone, a story in the wind. It teaches that time flows, environments transform, and stories persist even when voices fade. In the silence of the desert, feel your curiosity grow, and let gratitude for the past fill your heart. As our journey draws to a close, listen one last time to the quiet stirrings beneath the desert breezes. The Green Sahara teaches us about change, resilience, and the beauty of forgotten worlds. May you carry these echoes forward, attentive to the hidden stories all around us, and perhaps inspired to uncover new horizons in your own life. Thank you for reflecting with us and letting history's whispers guide you to a peaceful night.